My name is Patrick, and I'm very, very excited to be here today because I have a guest that I always wished to get to know someone like that who can help me to know more about the place where I live. And I want him to introduce himself.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Kerry Tyson. I'm the Executive Director of Portland Downtown. We're the Downtown Improvement District here in the city of Portland, Maine.
Tell us more about the organization of which you work for.
We work to keep downtown clean, safe, vibrant, thriving, and sustainable. So we want it to be a place for everybody. We do a lot of work in a lot of different areas. We work with the city a lot, particularly in the realm of public works, where we try to help the city keep sidewalks and plowing and beautification and tree planters and all flowers, all that sort of thing. But we also have our fingers in a lot of different pies as well. We work in the world of placemaking. We do a little work in the world of social services. We have a small thumb in advocacy. So we do a lot of different things.
From the time where I got here, I saw a very vibrant community where different shops and people selling things on street, which seems strange to me because of the development of this place. People having small tables there, entrepreneurs, different people that are selling good products made by them here in Maine. Can you tell us more about those initiatives and how you work with them?
Sure. Well, the organization's 30 years old, so it's been around for a while. It started at a time when Portland, or downtown here, the old Port, Arts and Government District, all of that, it wasn't what it is today. So it needed an organization that really helped work to revitalize the downtown. Now, I think it's fair to say it's been pretty successful. A lot of credit of that goes to the volunteers, the business owners, the property owners, city leadership, that sort of thing. But it's an organization that has evolved over time. So, revitalization isn't really our thing anymore because the downtown is thriving so strong. So we're sort of in that maintenance phase. But we do work in that. So that's how sort of the organization has evolved over the years. It does a little work in tourism. But we love to see all the entrepreneurs that you're talking about. Everything from our bar and restaurant scene to our craft vendors, which you'll see a lot of times here in our public parks or on Commercial Street or all sorts of other places. It just adds to the vibrance and vitality of the downtown. People generally want to be around people. That's what you see a lot of times here in downtown. Not only are we fortunate enough to have a really thriving retail and restaurant scene, most of those, by the way, are independent businesses. So those are Mainers that are really entrepreneurs themselves. And that's a great thing because it goes really far in the local economy. Those folks, they bank locally. They get their hair cut locally. They get their heating repaired locally. All that money doesn't go to some out-of-state corporation. So that's one of the really great things as well.
So can you tell us more, the networks you have and how you work with all of those organizations, and how can someone get into that? Because to be an entrepreneur, you really need environment where you can thrive and feel part of that place.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. It is a creative person who has an ambitious person who gets into that world, and we do try to work with those folks as well. We love to see those startup organizations or businesses thrive. Whether they come from micro entrepreneurship, and we see a lot of that here in the community. Whether you're at home making a jam and jelly or a salsa or a candle, to evolving, and we've seen that. Like LL Bean, it started as a small company and it has become what it is now. So lots of ways that happens, and we help facilitate partnerships in that arena. It's everything from working with the city's Office of Economic Development to SCORE, which is for retired executives who work as mentors for our entrepreneurs, or to a variety of different organizations throughout the city. Portland Buy Local is one of our really great partners. There are a whole bunch of them. So the role we try to play in sometimes in that is trying to connect people to the right resource.
And okay, tell me, if someone comes to you, what is the right question should they raise when they come to you to give for them to really receive your service?
Well, we want to know what you're interested in. What are you trying to do? What's your end goal? Do you have a business plan? If you don't, we're going to put you in touch with someone who will help you develop a business plan. Do you have a pro forma? Do you have financials? Or are you just starting out? Do you just have an idea? What's the situation you're in? You may just want to be a sort of a weekend business owner where you're just, you have a full-time job, maybe for various reasons. You have a family, or maybe you're just really good at a certain hobby and you just want to, it's your side hustle, as we like to call it. So we want to ask those clarifying questions and then make the right connections for you. So those are the kind of things we're going to ask.
Yeah. Let's say I know that you have different networks. So if you can tell me some different of the networks that you have, and how do you help people to get into those networks?
Sure. Like I said, SCORE is a really good one. They're one of our good partners. We've done some webinars with them. These days in the pandemic, so much of things are virtual, so we can make those connections, often through a virtual introduction these days. In a different world, we used to have in-person meetings where we'd make connections in person, and hopefully that's coming back, fingers crossed, and we love that and we miss that. So that's one connection we'd make. We might connect you with the city's Office of Economic Development, and we can make that introduction as well. Or maybe you've done some crafting or producing some foodstuffs in your house, and maybe we want to connect you with Fork Food Lab, for example, so that you go into a commercial kitchen, so that you're following all the appropriate healthcare rules as it relates to that. So again, we're just going to triage those questions and ask you, and then, we don't always know the answer, but here's the thing. We can pretty much always find the answer. So we're not afraid to tell you, hey, I'm not sure, but let me look into that and we'll get right back to you. So that's where we can help make those connections.
Yeah, there is a day that we were discussing, and you told me about this network of entrepreneurs and the meetings that you have. What are the sort of the meetings, and what normally gather you with entrepreneurs?
We have a group called our Downtown Business Committee, or DBC. We used to call it our Merchant Committee, but really we realized that so many of the folks attending, they weren't just merchants per se. They didn't have a retail storefront always. So, we did rename the organization as to be a more inclusive group. And we have people asking all sorts of questions, whether it's about licensing or insurance or retirement or all sorts of different things. So it's a really great group to network. They meet virtually. It's everywhere from every month to every other month, and it's an early morning meeting. It's on Zoom. It's around 8:30. We do that because we have so many folks that have to either get to a job or open their store or whatever the case may be, so that we found that's the best time available for folks to meet. So anybody that's interested in attending that fits that category, we'd certainly welcome you, and you can, like I said, get on our website at portlandmaine.com, send us an email, and we'll get you that invitation.
Many immigrants and people who just arrive here, they really want someone to hold them their hands. I'm just wondering if that platform is a platform where someone can go to see who they can try, maybe to request you to get connected with, for them to grow in that business field.
Yeah, it's definitely a place to make connections. I think that's really one of the great things about it. And oftentimes those connections, maybe they're not always one-to-one. They say, you've got a really great idea. I'm maybe not the best person for you to do it because I am in jewelry or whatever the case may be, but I really like your idea. Let me connect you with my friend, so-and-so, because they know a lot about whatever the issue may be. So that, that's the great thing about it. It's just, it feels like a big city, but we're kind of a small town. So, that's one of the great things about it. When you walk into a coffee shop or a bar or restaurant, you oftentimes see people you met either at one of these meetings or at some other convening that happens. So yeah, a lot of connections are made, and we want to see people succeed.
What are the type of events that you hold in the summer and in the winter in the spring. How do you kind of hold those different events, and how can people participate in those events?
Yeah, we hold a lot of them. Here we are. Yesterday was 207 Day, February 7th, and that was our inaugural 207 Day, just to give you an example of one event that's fresh on my mind, because I've been going through the sort of after action report this morning, and that was a big one. It was a scavenger hunt all across the city. We had 96 businesses that participated. Believe it or not, we had someone who went to every single one of those. It was amazing, super impressive. One of the reasons we did it was to help ring the cash registers here in this slow time of January, February, and really turned out, it was our first time to do it, and honestly, I couldn't be more proud. It was super successful. Another one that's coming up, and I should add, a lot of those folks offer discounts of the 207 variety, 20.7% off, or buy two, get 70, all these sort of creative things, or Maine-based products. It was really, I couldn't be more proud. We have a lot of different things we do. We do a Downtown Worker Appreciation Day, which will probably be coming up here in May. Really careful in COVID world as to how we're doing these sort of things. And that's because, we have such a busy downtown, and the workers really have to gear up when the holiday season comes around. And so we have this beginning of the season kickoff where we just want to show them how much we appreciate them. Then we usually do something at the end of the season as well, just show how much we appreciate how hard they work throughout the season. So we've got a lot of different things we do in that world. We've been doing some placemaking and activation work. We work with our friends at Congress Square Park and try to partner with them. We're working on a lot of things here in Monument Square. Just try to stay really busy and active, because it's just such a great place. But, without attention, places struggle. So that's where we come in, place management organization. That's kind of our world.
How does someone who has a business get in those events?
Yeah, again, the best thing to do is to follow us on all of our social channels. We're pretty much at Portland Downtown on every one of them, and we're pretty active on those. And then you'll see when we announce what we're doing. Some of those events may be totally appropriate to have a vendor at, and we'll have a way to reach out to us, and there'll either be like a permit process or whatever the case may be. Some of them, like the scavenger hunt, they could participate and sign up in. We had a sign-up sheet on our website, portlandmaine.com. So some of them are just really, they're just sort of things that happen, and they may not have vendors around them. But we definitely want to engage the community. So, follow us on all of our channels, and then follow our announcements. And then usually there's a contact information there, and reach out to me or one of our staff, and we'll let you know the process. Yeah, we do a lot of different stuff throughout the year, and, we love to hear from the community.
Is it normally free to get in there, or you have to pay money?
It depends on the situation. Rule of thumb is it's pretty low cost, if anything. Generally, the biggest thing is if there's a permit involved. Depends upon the situation, and those are pretty affordable. Again, depends upon the event, and that's normally the biggest barrier, such that it is.
Tell us more about you and why you are passionate to do this job.
Yeah, well, I believe place matters. I've been in the place management work and downtown revitalization and historic preservation work for about 20 years. The thing about downtown is it's someplace, and it's not any place. You're in Portland, Maine when you are here. You're not just in the middle of, too often we have all these generic places that are just, you could be in Butte, Montana or Beaufort, South Carolina, but that's the difference with Portland. You're here. It is a special place. It really gets into you. And I just couldn't be more thrilled to be here and to be working in this world, and to work with such great downtown businesses and volunteers and a board of directors that's really supportive, and people like yourself who reach out and want to have conversations so we can build relationships and continue to work together in the future. Yeah.
In the name of everyone that really wants to be involved in the activity of our communities, and I really thank you so much for the work you're doing.
I appreciate the
invitation.
invitation.
Really much respect for the environment that you create for everyone. and looking forward to being your events.
Great. I look forward to working closer together. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Take care.
Take care.